Hey there, hope you're doing well. Say you woke up one morning and you woke up with this brilliant idea that you want to actually, open a new restaurant and sell pizzas, and you have an idea for this really new pizza, right? A pizza that's unlike anything that's ever been sold before, and you truly believe it's a fantastic idea and it's very unique. And you want to get started with creating that pizza, making the first pie, and putting it in the hands of your customer. And let's say go back to like say Seinfeld from years ago, where Kramer comes up with an idea where he wants to actually sell, a unique kind of pizza. Where I believe memory serves me right, let the customers bake their own pie, and he collaborates or he wants to partner with Pappy in that episode, right? If that resonates with you, just as a random example and context. So you have this idea, and you cannot wait to get started because you want to actually start baking the pizza and then doing everything you can to bringing your first customer in and putting it on their hands so you can tell if they're actually going to like it or not, and what kind of adjustments you need to make, and how you can sell more of those pizzas even before you actually sold the first one, or even before you actually made the first one, just when you thought, you're at this point of concept and ideation essentially. So you're restless, you want to get that going, but unfortunately you don't have a restaurant, you don't have any licenses, you don't have an oven to bake this pizza in, and everything else that needs to go with it. You need a kitchen, you need lights, electricity, you need a dining area, you need lights. I mean, maybe I said that already. You need music, you need everything else that goes with the restaurant. Even though none of that. I mean, I'm sure each of it is going to be unique to your restaurant. You're going to make, you're going to bring a value proposition in each everywhere that's possible. But the crux of your difference here, your USP, is actually the pizza itself, the idea of this new pizza that you're creating, you want to make. But unfortunately, before you could get to the point where you bake the pizza and put it in the hands of your first customer, there's a lot of process involved. Now, this is an example of pizza in a restaurant. But if you extrapolate this, take it to software, it's actually no different. You have an idea, a brilliant idea, or an idea that you think is brilliant, and I hope it really is brilliant as you think it is. Or you might be building a solution for your client, right? Uh, uh, the problem itself could be unique. You're solving a unique problem. Or in other cases, the problem may not be unique, but you have a unique solution that you believe is going to find a lot of traction. Regardless, you cannot wait to not just get started, but to actually complete it. But the problem is very similar to this pizza example. You need an app. You need to create the repo, right? The first line of code, have your infrastructure set up, have the design done, the architecture, the implementation, staff your team, go the whole 9 yards before you can actually start being productive. And it could take 3 6 months, maybe more, depending on what you're doing. And even if you have a brilliant team already available that's ready to get started, it could still be several weeks before you can actually get even the base version out there, because you're actually doing every single thing, right from setting up the kitchen in the example of the pizza, to the dining area, to getting licensing for maybe your bar or the lights, getting your music ready, the playlist, and the whole 9 yards. Now, that's not the best spend of your time, money, resources, or energy, right? It's hard to argue. At least in our opinion, it's inarguable, which is why we, launched our APIs and SaaS products toward the latter part of last year. The whole idea is to give you most, if not all, of the tools that you need from a backend standpoint to realizing your ideas as quickly as possible, so you can go to market a whole lot sooner than you could have possibly imagined, and you can get there before your competition gets there. That's the gist of it. um, and that's where a lot of the APIs that we have are designed, and we have 8 at this point at the time of this recording, and we have like thousands of endpoints, and we have more APIs in the coming this year. They're only going to get more and more exciting, and they're going to solve more and more complex problems. But the ones that are already out there, they're going to let you build a lot of systems. And trust me, many times I see people come to me and tell me, Krish, I have a unique problem and I want to solve this. And yep, I don't disagree. There are aspects to the problem that they socialize with us that it comes across as unique, and it is truly unique. But the majority of it is actually not unique. It does not matter whether you're making a pizza or creating an application for the restaurant industry, or doing something for the in the hotel space, or fintech, or pharmaceuticals, or just in any other space of technology. There are aspects and facets to your problem that are truly unique. And I hope they are, because otherwise you're not going to be redoing something that's already been done earlier by other people. But even with that said, many of things or most of those things are actually not unique. And if you take an application, you need to be able to sign in, sign up, have social media integration, integrate with maybe Google Maps if you have that kind of requirement, do third-party integrations, persist data, create content. I use the word loosely, content here, whether you're creating projects or restaurants or cars or stock accounts. It does not matter what it is. You're creating a resource and there's access control ACL around that resource. You want to be able to collaborate with other people in making that happen as part of your tool or the application. You need to be able to send invitations to other users potentially. You need notifications, mobile apps, push notifications. A lot of these things are pretty generic components, if you will. But those components are not, it's a whole lot easier to build components on the front end, like React components. That's why there's like dime a dozen. But on the service side, it's a whole lot more complex to actually create something that's reusable. These microservices that are very generically designed and architected and built and implemented and deployed, so they can actually serve many different purposes. That's literally where we come in as a company from our B2B standpoint. If you think your problem is unique, ask yourself, ask your team, socialize, and see if everything about your problem is unique. Like starting from, the foundation to the top of your building, if you will. Is everything unique? Then that's all right. Then maybe you are in the minority of whatever it is that you're building. Even in that case, our API should mostly be able to help you. But let's take that case off. Every other scenario, there will be aspects to what you're doing that will be unique. I give that to you. But most of the other things that you need are not necessarily going to be unique like the ones I laid out. Just take any project management application, right? Say take our own project management app, which uses our API, snowpal.com. We have a lot of unique features, different from every other project management solution. But there are a lot of things that are common as well. You need to be able to create a project. You need to be able to create cards, collaborate with other people. How you collaborate, how those features are exposed to you, surely they're going to be different between systems. But at its heart, there are similarities. I mean, even if everybody disagrees, it's hard to disagree that if you took 10 different project management platforms, you're going to find a fair bit of similarities between those platforms. They're going to have their unique selling propositions, just like we do. But there are, again, going to be many, many things that are kind of similar. Some things that are very similar, because that's just the nature of the beast. And if you end up implementing those backend systems and services and microservices and APIs and endpoints, whether it's REST or Graph, to standing up those systems for yourself, for your company or your client, I don't think that's going to be most productive. It's not going to be in the best interest of you, your organization, your stakeholders, or your customers. You want to get that pizza one more time as quickly as possible and put that in the hands of your first customer, your first diner, so they can give you feedback around, hey, you know what, this, I don't like it. Maybe I need it to be not circular. Maybe I want this new shape that we have pizzas like Ant Pizza and, these other newer restaurants these days. Or maybe the choice of, the selection of toppings, maybe the quality of the ingredients, many different things. Whatever goes into the making of this brand new, super cool pizza, you want to get feedback from your customers. And if you took a whole lot longer than you needed to, or you had to in the past to get that feedback, then you're not putting yourself in the best position for success, are you? So definitely check out I'm going to include links. We're going to include links in this video. So go check out our APIs, check out a lot of the examples that we also have included, because, the proof is in the pudding. Our API is actually in production, be used by mobile apps, microservices, and web applications. So it's not something you have to imagine or be creative about it. We have Postman collections published. There's the Open API spec is also published for all of these APIs. It takes literally less than 5 minutes to get an API key, subscribe to the APIs, and start leveraging them. Now, if you're like, hey, you know what, we like the features, but we would rather host it ourselves. Like, we don't want to provision it in the Snowpal infrastructure. We want to do it in our own AWS or Azure or Google Cloud infrastructure. Can we make that happen? Absolutely. Our system is designed to facilitate that. Or there's a third way you can leverage and integrate our systems as well. You can purchase commercial licenses and then purchase support and then literally, use our code to run your backend systems, and either use us and our professional services to grow as your needs grow and change. You can use us and our expertise to help make changes. Or if your team is familiar with a lot of these languages, I'm sure they are, like TypeScript. We use like standard languages like Ruby, TypeScript, Go, and other such languages. We have an ecosystem that's pretty rich and comprises many different languages. So you can take, purchase licenses and use them. We can talk if you need a more specific type of contract put together. We are happy to have the conversation as well. So again, make your pick, take your pick. Go to AWS Marketplace, go to one of the other hubs that we have. Our API is published. Check it out. We have 2-week free trial. Again, it will take your product team only a matter of a few minutes to look up the examples and the specification, and it'll take your dev team just about the same time to actually get themselves acclimated with our offerings. So hopefully this pizza example makes a little bit of sense. And I, just personally speaking, food is generic to all of us, right? What we eat is surely different. Our needs, dietary needs, and requirements and likes and dislikes vary. But the fact that is we all have to eat as humans. So the examples I'm going to continue probably socializing unless I hear otherwise. They're going to be around food, and it's actually quite interesting to use food as an example as well. That's about it for this podcast. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.